Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Carnage #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team here. We have writer Torren Grumbeck with art by Para Paris, Eric Arcienega on colors, letters by Joe Sabino. So we have a new iteration of the Carnage series. In this issue, Absolute Cassidy, every symbiote needs a host, and for Carnage, there has only ever been one host who has made it feel whole. It is time for a reunion. Don't miss this shocking and unexpected start in the next chapter of Carnage story, one which lays the groundwork for the next Venom epic. I really like that they're all kind of be like interconnected. That's pretty cool. I think Venom and Carnage just go along so well with their stories, even a little bit more than I think like Venom and Spider-Man or even Carnage and Spider-Man. I think Venom and Carnage have such a more dynamic relationship. So, at last time we saw Carnage, he was trying to kill all the Venoms across those, like pretty much the multiverse. So let's see how now that they are reunited, because Carnage had been operating pretty much hostless for a little while. So, it was a really interesting way to tell a story. Also, I'm a big fan of Grumbeck's writing, and of course, Paris has some beautiful art. So, let's take a quick look at some preview art here. And of course, we have to have a big battle. Now, this is a little weird because we are somewhere else. I had to rearrange the preview pages because we have a big splash page, and then so this is actually the first page where we see that we are at Omnipotent City, the Nexus of the Gods, right? So what is Carnage doing there? Why is the symbiote there? From what I can tell, this is the symbiote right now is hostless at the moment. So it'll be really interesting. I think Carnage's goal had been to become the god of symbiotes, right? Which I think it's gonna be maybe like a battle leading up to, leading up to the battle of like Carnage and Venom for the that godhood status. So I don't know. This looks exciting. I like the team involved with it. So we'll definitely talk more about this once we get a chance to read it. So if you have read it, let us know down in the comments. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars Battleworld #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Tom DeFalco with art by Pat Alfie, John Callis on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna. Uh, we also have multiple covers, which we'll see some at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what's going on here because I had no idea this book was coming out until I started working on putting these previews together. So, after nearly 40 years, the mysteries of the Secret Wars deepen. Get ready for an all new cataclysmic battle from when Spider Man first got his alien costume, which I think is one of the more iconic moments in history, even if at the time it was kind of like an underrated moment. When a mysterious being called the Beyonder assembled superheroes and villains of Earth to do battle on a patchwork planet. Yes, to witness now an untold adventure set during the original Secret Wars Marvel Superheroes event. Set the standard for Marvel Comics as far as event goes, and as well as action figures. So, in this new story, we will last reveal some secret connections and missing chapters going back to the 1984 original series just in time for its 40th anniversary. What secret tests are the Beyonders conducting, and how will Spider-Man and the Human Torch as a whole cast to determine the fate of the universe? Plus, a surprise supervillain appears inside these pages. Um, I mean, it's always fun to go back and retell some of these stories, expand on the existing stories. I don't know that it always works, but bringing back some of the original people that worked on this event for the anniversary is always pretty cool. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. And we see Spidey already here in the black outfit. I think the previous page kind of told us where things were starting. Um, I don't know who these ice creatures are. I don't know what these wolves are all about. So we'll definitely have to read this to find out. And then, of course, we got a little bit more art. I really like how dynamic some of these pages are. I think the black suit is just so cool. And I love this panel with all the superheroes and villains kind of just fighting it out. And this panel at the bottom, like a recreation of that iconic cover from Secret Wars number 8, right? So very cool stuff. I don't know. I'm definitely very excited to check this out. It probably won't be at the top of my pile, but it'll definitely be something I'll try to get to really soon. Some really cool variant covers. You can see some at the end of the video. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Immortal X-Men number 17. This is a new book from Marvel Comics, written by Kieran Gillen with art by Jose Juan Rip, colors by David Curiel, and letters by Clem Cowles. In this issue, My Heart, Xavier swore he would stay on Krakoa and defend its memory. He's leaving. There must be a good reason to leave one Doom Island for another, and the dark secrets that await beneath Muir Island. Meanwhile, something is very, very wrong with Jean, or is it something very, very right? Uh, this series has been a little bit all over the place, but it's covering a lot of really cool things after the fall of X. I feel like Karen Gillan really got like the bulk of a lot of very interesting characters to follow up on this book, uh, which can be very interesting, but also like we're going all over the place with them. So, uh, it's. I feel like this one's one of the ones that I really have to sit down and just make sure that I'm paying attention to everything that's going on. We don't have a lot of preview art, but we do have 3 pages, and none of them show anything that I talked about in the synopsis. We're actually seeing Apocalypse and some of the mutants that were stranded in a different planet kind of take off. We see here and take on a battle. So I'm not too familiar with Juan Jose Rip's art, but I think it works. I really like the grain on Apocalypse. I really like the expressions in some of the other characters. A lot of blank eyes in this one, which really interesting that a lot of these characters just have that look or their power set triggers that. So um, yeah, I am very much looking forward to this series wrapping up because it's been such a fun ride from the beginning. It's been one of the series that's been more pivotal to all the events that have been happening in the X-Men office, so that's pretty cool. And of course, some fantastic variant covers at the end of the video. So stay. Bye bye. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for The Invincible Iron Man number 12. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team here. This is written by Gary Duggan with art by Iguara, who's the guest artist. Brian Valencia on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna. We continue with everything following the events of the fall of X. In this issue, Tony Stark is a genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. His wife is a brilliant, brutal telepath, but neither of them are going to have an answer to the Stark Sentinel problem. To solve that, Tony's going to have to go to the smartest person he knows, Ironheart. But with everything on the line, can Tony still trust her or have the rings of the Mandarin change Riri? Man, I had not followed up on that Riri story in a while. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting to see where that goes. I really love what Tony and Emma have been doing as this, dysfunctional couple. And Gary Duggan's just doing such a cool job with everything going on in the X-Men office, and also including Iron Man in that. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. I think Iguara is a really cool addition as a guest artist. Pretty cool designs, pretty just amazing. The layouts of the panels, I really enjoyed some of that stuff. And then, of course, once we get into the actual characters, it's still really fun to see just how the dynamic works between them. And of course, like I said, we get Riri Williams back, who I hadn't seen in a little while. So yeah, I don't know. I think this one's going to be a fun one. I've been loving this series since the beginning. And then once everything started merging in with the X-Men stuff, I like it kind of blew it out of the water. So very excited to see where this goes next. So if you have read it, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. we'll talk more about this once I get a chance to read the issue. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Wolverine number 39. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. As we continue Wolverine's mission to pretty much destroy Orcus. And he's been teaming up with different heroes on each issue, including Hulk, Captain America, and now T'Challa the Black Panther. So let's take a look at the creative team before we get more into this book. Written by Benjamin Percy, with art by Juan Jose Rip, Frank Dermott on colors, letters by Corey Petit. This is part 3 of Last Mutant Standing. In this issue, Klaus in Wakanda, Wolverine has gone underground to dodge the heat from Orcus' mutant hunt, while Black Panther is in exile in the outskirts of Wakanda. But when an illegal cache of precious metals is targeted to further Orcus' agenda, these clawed compatriots will team up to keep the goods out of the bad guys' hands. But can these two heroes protect the innocent caught in the crossfire? Last Mutant Standing continues. I believe we have a couple more issues before this story is wrapped up, but Benjamin Percy's been doing such a cool thing of like this globe-trotting Wolverine, just trying to foil any chance of advancement for Orcus. I wonder how if this will be connected at all to that fall of to the the last few of the big event for the X-Men. Like I feel like Wolverine's been such an integral part of at least trying to stop Orcus from advancing their work. He's been sabotaging things. He's been and also kind of recruiting some of these heroes to help him out with this stuff. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see the future of the Wolverine and how important he'll be as one of these characters. As I mentioned, I think the art from the past few issues has been stellar. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here, and we'll talk more about that. Yeah, this is just like, I love the interpretation of Wakanda, big bright colors. Interesting seeing this new council as well. I'm not currently reading the Black Panther book, but I do know that he has gone into more of a vigilante role, and there's somebody else kind of holding all the power in Wakanda. So these are the characters that we're going to kind of have to fight and struggle against. So really cool action sequences. The art here really works. So this artist actually, Juan Jose, did 2 issues this week that I read. This one really worked for me. Like the art really felt like, I don't know. I don't know if they were both colored by the same colorist, so maybe that has something to do with it. But man, this one really worked for me. I love seeing the design of the Black Panther, just a really cool pose. And it is very interesting that both of these heroes are kind of like, clawed animal related kind of. I don't know. It's weird that we don't see them work together more often. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Benjamin Percy's been doing such a bang up job with really anything that he's writing, but specifically this series for Wolverine. So really enjoy that. There's also some very cool covers at the end of the video, so make sure to stay tuned for those. And as always, thank you for watching. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it. And I think once this is all wrapped up, I might be doing just like putting all the videos together, because I think it's really fun to kind of go see that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.